Hi, Terry here. Welcome to another video. So, starting out, I just wanted to mention the video I did a couple of weeks ago called Black Powder for Everyday Carry. Got a lot of great responses on that and a lot of views. Wanted to thank all of you, even the commenters that I don't necessarily agree with. Doesn't matter. That's how conversation starts. They were good comments. Unfortunately, I did have to censor a couple because they were just entirely too political for my channel. This is times gone technology, not the rise and fall of the American Empire. Sorry. But it was well written. They were both excellent comments, and I appreciated them. It just wasn't within the theme of this channel. Let me put it that way. Another thing I wanted to point out very quickly here. For those people who think of black powder or a con to black powder, is that you have to clean them every time you fire them or they rust. They're just terrible for rusting, right? I mean, black powder just rusts into a big lump of metal if you don't clean it. This is the gun that I fired 6 rounds at from about 9 feet into that very same target about 3 weeks ago, and I haven't cleaned it since then. I've just set it up on a shelf. Now, normally I wouldn't do that, okay? But to make a point, I just set it on a shelf inside the house 3 weeks ago, and check it out. No rust anywhere on it, nothing around the nipples, nothing. It works. So, no, you don't have to just rush home and clean the thing or it's going to rust into a lump of metal. No, forget it. Okay, now, next thing, moving on, if I can get this in my holster. Thank God for editing. Another thing I wanted to do today actually pertains to that same video. That original video was an hour and a half, and I cut it down to 20 minutes. And what that means is I had to cut out 80 minutes of well, what was mostly pointless rambling, as you've noticed I tend to do, which I try to cut a lot of that out. But there was some good stuff in there that ultimately I just decided didn't really work with that particular subject. It just didn't have anything to do with you making the decision to carry or not to carry black powder firearms as your everyday primary personal self-defense weapon. But they were good stuff. So I wanted to bring one of those back today. And that is, if you'll notice, when I fired at this target, I was standing about this far away. Actually, I was back a little bit more even, I think, about like this, about this far away. And I mentioned in that video that this is not a realistic self-defense shooting distance. And then I said, this is. Well, people have commented in the past about how close I stand to the target when I'm practicing self-defense shooting. Now, obviously, I do some longer target practice, and this is the actual target that I used, and you can see from the grouping here that my distance shooting kind of sucks. I'll never win any marksmanship competitions, but for self-defense shooting, I think I'm pretty decent. But people have also said, you know, why shoot so close? Why don't you back off about 50 feet? Because probably wouldn't even hit the target with this snub nose. But then also, here's the thing that they'll add, heck, anyone can hit it from here. And, you know, you're right. Anybody could. I mean, I could hit the bullseye, you know, every time. If the guy I'm shooting at was made out of plywood and 2x4s and paper and just stood there. There's something called, I'm not sure what the official name is, but it's actually a national law enforcement database. And it's on the internet, and we don't have access to all of it because we're not law enforcement. Well, if you're a law enforcement officer, you do, obviously, but I don't know if the rest of us do. But it's some very interesting information has come out of this database over the past few years. The 333 rule, for one, which actually predates the internet database. If you're not familiar with it, that's the rule that states that the vast majority of civilian-involved self-defense shootings are resolved with no more than 3 rounds, fired in no more than 3 seconds at no more than 3 yards, or about 9 feet. So if that's true, then how is this a realistic self-defense scenario? Well, something else very interesting came out of that same database, and that is this. In the United States, of trained, uniformed, experienced patrol police officers, all right, now, I'm not talking about rookies on their first week, I'm not talking about SWAT teams or anti-terrorist teams or homicide detectives. We're talking about career patrol officers, uniformed patrol officers, been at the job for 10 years, maybe 20 years, okay? Every single encounter that these people have when they're being attacked, and the attacker is anywhere from about 6 feet to point blank, and that officer is forced to draw his firearm and shoot to defend himself. 76, I think it is, percent of firings are complete misses. 76%, that's almost 80% of the bullets fired at that attacker completely miss the attacker. They're not grazes, they're not flesh wounds, they completely miss. What, I mean, how can that be? How can that be? How can somebody be this close at me and I miss? What, am I shooting off this way or this way? I mean, what's going on here? Well, it's actually very simple. That thing isn't going to attack me. First, let's look at the situation, the dynamics of the situation. First of all, most police officers work their entire careers and they're never attacked by anyone. In fact, when a police officer approach a suspect, the vast majority of the times that suspect is going to try and run away. People run from the cops. They don't habitually attack the cops. Most uniformed patrol officers will work their entire careers and never be physically attacked. They also will never have to draw or fire their gun off of the firing range, which means they never have to shoot anyone. So it's not an expected situation, okay? You also want to consider the mindset of the attacker. I mean, think about this guy. This guy's attacking a uniformed, armed police officer. He's not going to rob the guy. He's not going to ask for the time of day. He's going to physically wrestle that guy down, that cop down, beat him up, take his gun away from him, and then probably kill him with his own firearm. So when he makes that decision to attack, when that guy makes that decision to attack, he has made a deliberate choice. He has created a kill or be killed situation that until he actually attacks me, actually physically charges at me, I'm completely unaware of. It's a routine traffic stop. I ask the guy to get out of the car. He gets out of the car. We're talking, and all of a sudden he's on me. A person standing about 12 feet away in this, and this is about 12 feet away, and I know because earlier you saw me playing with my tape measure. I'm just about 12 feet away from the camera and just about 12 feet away from the target. A person standing 12 feet away, once they decide to attack, can be up on me in less than 2 seconds. And when he gets up to me, he is moving at full speed. Now you might think, well, yeah, but I can react in less than 2 seconds too. Well, maybe normally under practice conditions, under test conditions, but there's something else going on here. It's called the fight or flight instinct. As soon as this guy starts at me, it takes a split seconds for my mind to realize this guy's attacking me. And that's true whether you're a police officer or a civilian or a soldier. I mean, it just takes, that, and then you realize he's attacking. Well, what happens then immediately is the brain floods the body with adrenaline. Now, yeah, adrenaline pumps you up, gets you going, gets you ready for a fight, speeds your reactions up, dulls your sense of pain down, but not at first. For about 1 second, it actually does the opposite. First, it drains the blood from the extremities. It causes the capillaries to constrict. forcing the blood into the body's core. Now, that's a protective instinct. Get the blood out of the hands, out of the arms, into the core body in case you get injured, get cut, you won't bleed so bad. Yeah, well, the thing about that is the brain is an extremity. So all the blood's coming down out of your brain too. And that's going to slow down your thought processes. It also makes your muscles tight. I mean, it really tightens you up at first, for about a second. You're frozen. You feel like you're frozen, like you can't move. It's the adrenaline. And then with the blood draining out of your fingers, you can't feel your gun. So it's a situation that really cannot be recreated under the health and safety conditions of a test practice type of scenario. Because, even if you try as realistic as you can get it, you still know that guy's not actually going to wrestle you down and kill you. He's not going to, or at least I hope but he's not going to. Whereas in this situation, this guy's coming at you, your mind is thinking the worst. Who attacks a cop? Who attacks a cop with a gun? The guy's unarmed, obviously, or he wouldn't be attacking me, or he's attacking me with a knife or something. Kill or be killed situation, which we cannot duplicate under a controlled situation. So you got that going on. That slows your reaction time down. And also you want to remember, this guy he's not going la 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 la. He's not, skipping up to you. This guy is that fast. Imagine how fast somebody standing 6 feet away could get to you. And he's coming full speed. This guy is up on me in less than 2 seconds. And it takes me at least 2 seconds to realize he's attacking me, react, get my hand on my gun, get out of the holster, get the safety off, and get it up to bear in the chute. Now, by that time, he's on me. This guy's on me. He's punching at me with both fists. He's kicking me. He's grabbing me. He's wrestling me down. He's coming back. This guy weighs probably over 200 pounds, and he's trying to get his arms around me, wrestle me down. I'm trying to hold him back with one hand, get my gun out. Oh, and look, I just shot that way, missed the target. Bam, just shot that way, missed the target. Just shot that way, missed the target. It's really that easy. This is a very intense, real, dynamic situation. Most people are totally unprepared for it when it does happen to them, because it doesn't happen very often. And that is why, apparently, not anybody can hit the target this close. And if you think I just made an argument for why everybody should carry a 9mm with a 30-round magazine, you're going to be disappointed. Now, let's look at what happens to civilians. Okay? The same database, which shows that nearly 80% of the rounds fired by a police officer when being attacked at this range missed the target. That same database shows that nearly all civilian-involved self-defense shootings are resolved with 3 rounds or less, fired in 3 seconds or less, at 3 yards or less. So it's quite realistic for the attacker to be standing this far away when I shoot him. That's perfectly acceptable, perfectly realistic, because that's what the database shows. So what's the difference? What's going on here? Okay. When somebody makes a decision to attack a uniformed police officer, again, they are creating that kill or be killed situation, to come in at that guy, come in at that cop thinking, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you, motherfucker. I'm going to kill you. Somebody goes out for armed robbery. He's not thinking, all right, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. No, he's picked me as a target. He doesn't want to hurt me. He's got deadly force. He might have a gun, might have a knife. And I'm not saying he won't use it if I push him against a wall or something. What I'm saying is he's not out to kill me. If he was, he wouldn't try and rob me. He'd just kill me and then take whatever he wants. He's using the weapon as a tool to frighten me into submission. He's expecting me to freeze, to lock up. Oh my God, he's got a gun. And then just hand over my wallet, my bag, my watch, whatever I got. That's what he's expecting. So instead, he comes up to me, shows me his weapon, and I come back to reach for my wallet. Instead, okay, I just shot him in the gut. All right, what's the first thing that's going to go through his mind? Oh shit, I've been shot. Just shot him again. Oh shit, I just shot him again. 3 times. He's dead. Or he's incapacitated, or he's hurt so bad. The only thing that's on his mind now is get to a hospital, get to a hospital, get to a hospital. That's all he's thinking about. He's just taken 3 44 caliber lead slugs to the body. Okay. He's not dead and he doesn't want to die. So he's going to the hospital. Now, it's not an opinion. It's not debatable. The database shows that's what happens. Out here in the real world with real people, that's what happens. And in these situations, the cops don't even try and find the guy. You know what they do? They go to the hospital. They go to the nearest hospitals, the emergency rooms, because they know the guy's headed there. If he can make it, if he lives long enough, that's where he's going. And that's where they find him. They put him under arrest. Case closed. That's what happens. Yes, in extremely rare situations, this guy is just mean as a rattlesnake. He doesn't die or go down incapacitated, and he does shoot back, or he does attack with his knife, thinking, mother foe, you kill me, I'm going to take you with me. Yeah, once in a million times, okay, that does happen. But the odds say not going to happen. All right. If I was robbed 1,000 times, that scenario would not happen. 1,001 times, maybe. And most people live their entire lives and are never robbed out on the street. They're never victims of home invasions. They're not a victim of a carjacking. Most people don't. Most people are never carjacked. Most people's homes are never invaded. That's just a fact. I'm pushing 70. I've never been robbed. I've never had a carjacking. I've never had a home invasion. My parents lived in their 90s. They never had a problem. I don't know anybody who did except for one person, and then he can actually kind of caused it, but talk about that later. So that one was his fault. So yeah, it does happen, but extremely rarely. And my whole point on this is, as a civilian, the kind of people I'm going to encounter where I'm going to be forced to draw my gun and shoot are going to be very different from those that the police are going to encounter. Now, there is always the crazy guy with the crowbar, the hammer, who's just crazy, right? I just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. But that's part of what that 9 feet is away, because you can't rob somebody from 9 feet. I mean, come on, 9 feet? Look at this. Hey, you, come on. Hey, toss that wallet over here. Come on, toss it over here. Come on, throw it at my feet. Come on, come on. No. Yo, man, hand me your wallet. That's where it's going to be. Very different scenario, very different mindset, very different dynamics. Does that mean that I am recommending that people, civilians, do not carry a 9mm semi-auto with a 30-round capacity magazine? Of course not. If that's what you want, go for it. I mean, it's hard to argue with 30 rounds, man. Geez, you could be attacked by some third world countries and have enough bullets to take care of yourself. What I'm saying is that the database that's being kept by the national police agencies across the country are showing that it's just not necessary. You can defend yourself without needing that level of firepower that we're being instructed by military and police, shooting teachers, instructors, firearms instructors. You got to have 30 rounds, man. You got to have a 45. You got to kill him, man. You got to kill him, man. You got to kill him, man. You got to kill him. No, you don't. No, you don't. Okay, so that's my video. I just wanted to bring it back because I didn't have time in the other one. And Man, it's hot out here. I'm in the shade and I'm sweating like crazy. So we used to say sweating like a pig, although I never really saw a pig sweat that much. But thanks for watching. Hope to see you next time.